No, I mean, tried calling it just by remaining later. That's okay. I did not. Thank you. Oh, we should. Then we need something else to do. I'm sorry, I will not be able to tell the meeting today. And you are.
Are we ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Melissa is not here today, so I will be taking over the meeting. So I call this meeting to order. The item agenda next is review of on-site packet. Do we have one? No. Okay. Additions or revisions to the agenda? Okay, so hearing none. Any announcements, Carol?
No,
Oh, we're scooting right through.
we just have to, I guess this would be an announcement. The next committee is in this room and it starts at 3. So I will try to watch the clock because we'll have to be done so that they can move into place by 3.
Okay, we'll get as much done as we can. Okay, next item agenda is approval of minutes from December the 13th, 2022. Were there any revisions or corrections?
And I can make a motion, you're ready.
Hearing none, go ahead, Jill, and read the motion.
Is there a committee member that would like to make the following motion? I move to approve the minutes from the December 13th, 2022 APRN committee meeting as written.
Their motion, somebody'd like to make a motion?
This is Dawn Gosnell. I so move.
Don, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ben. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion's carried. So we'll move on to unfinished business, and Shannon is not with us today, so we'll have to move on past number 1. So we'll go to the update on the CNM1 regulations. And is that you, Carol? Right?
That is, this is Carol Moreland, and actually on page 7 in your packet, I got this from Courtney over at the Board of Healing Arts, and just kind of an update on the status of any regulations for the independent practice of midwifery that are still out there. And the only 2 that are still out there are 100-28B-8 and 28B-9. Those are the 2 that were brought last June to the APRN committee, and they were not approved by us. It was felt that they needed to go back to this council that is over with BOHA, of which we have representation from some nurse midwives over there. And I believe they're going to be needing to, there were some parts of the language that just couldn't be agreed upon. So they're gonna work more on those, but everything else has been implemented. So I think we're slowly getting there. That's all I have.
Okay, so those 2 are over there across the street. Still.
Yeah.
Okay. And the next agenda item is the implementation of House Bill 2279, the APRN Board Approved National Certification Chart that you guys put together.
Now, this is on page 8 in your packet, and just to refresh your memory, House Bill 2279 that passed last year, the independent practice for the APRNs, has a clause in there that the board has to have a list of approved national certifications on our website by July 1st of 2023, which is when the national certification, the requirement for that for initial licensure goes into effect. So we've kind of been talking, and this is the criteria that you all wanted used. And then we've looked at the most common ones up here. And these were kind of split up and some of you got information and sent it to me and stuff like that. I got information, some of it was just yes, 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 like you see now. Others were quite involved. And rather than put all of that in, I just put yes or no, basically. I mean, that's what we need to know. If you want to see all the rest of the information, I can certainly bring that to the June packet. Some of it goes into great detail. But it comes down to the fact that the answer is yes, that it meets that. And so that's kind of what I did. So I guess what I need at some point is when you're ready is to say that these are the approved ones that then will go on our website, which means when someone applies for initial APRN licensure starting July 1st of 2023 or after, they would need to have proof of one of these certifications. And these are the most common ones. So that's one thing that I need. And then the second thing that I need from the committee is going forward, when someone has another certification that they would like to have added to our approved list, what is the process? I mean, I know that I would be following this criteria. Are you wanting me to gather the information from that certification and just bring it back to the next committee meeting? Because I will tell you, I've already been approached by someone, I can't remember who, and what certification. It's not one that I was familiar with, but they wanted it added. So I told them that initially, these were the ones that we were going with because these are the most common ones. However, I would ask the committee going forward, what would be the process when someone requests that another one be added to the list? So that's the pieces of information I need from the committee. If you have questions or anything.
Carol, this is Dawn Gosnell. I have no questions. I think that we've been very thorough contacting the different certifying regulatory agencies that we've listed there. And I think in the details that you will put online will be those that these agencies, these companies have will detail out the specific ones. So I think that we can accept the ones that we have already worked up. So I guess our first motion is to accept the certifications that we have vented and approved so far that will go online.
7, right?
Yes.
7, right, Dawn? There's 7, okay.
At least 7 agencies. And then I know like AACN had 8 different certifications, but that's what you'll list on the
Right.
site, correct? So these are
Yeah.
the ones that we have vented already and the ones that they have then come back with. Yes.
The ones listed at the bottom.
It looks really good. This looks really good. Good job, everybody, doing this. Wow. Now, what about the process for adding to this in the future? Is that what you're asking for today? Thoughts about that?
And do you want a second motion or do you want to pass this and then have a second motion? And then
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably what needs to take
Okay.
place, that you need to finish this
Let's
motion.
approve this one first.
Well, I don't have a motion for that, so what do you want to say?
Okay, how do we write that?
The national certification agencies listed, you people can help me, but listed in the March 2020 APRN committee packet are approved for the list on KSBN website or something, the approved list on our website. Can't exactly how to say it, but somebody can
Make-
help.
Exactly. Make that as pretty as you would like, and I would make that motion.
Thank you, Dawn.
So I move to approve the national certification listed in the March 2023 APRN packet as approved to be placed on the KSBN website. And Dawn made that motion.
Yes. There's a second?
I'll
Don't hear Ben.
second.
Thank you, Ben. Been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion's carried.
So then the next step is just to kind of give me some direction when I'm approached, because I'm sure there'll be more than this that people have out there that they want added to this approved list. How would you like that handled? Do you just want me to gather the information into a document like this and bring it to the next meeting? How would you like that to be handled?
This is Dawn again, and I think how we have handled requests through our committee before works very well, that you vent and would verify that all of the same criteria is met. And I would even make it in the motion that you will present this to our committee, but as long as they are meeting the requirements, it's more for information, but that you are sharing that information. Kind of like we do with our programs. You know, as long as they've been vented, we approve them, or you approve them, and then you let us know that they have met requirement. Maybe that's how we want to do with ongoing, is that you would verify all the requirements and then would inform us of any additions.
And this is Carol. That would be very helpful, because otherwise it might hold up someone getting their initial licensure with us. If, you know, we got the request 2 weeks after the meeting and I had to wait to the next meeting to get it approved, that would hold up their application. So I think it would be very helpful if we could do that. If I could go ahead and approve it based on the criteria and then bring the report back to you all.
And Don Gosnell, I so move.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea, Carol. So if you have an issue with something, you bring it forward to the group and not approve it. Okay. Sounds
That's
good.
kind of how we do the programs.
Jill, did you get all
I can help you with
Yeah,
it.
you can help me with it. Okay, that'll be done, and then.
Is there a second to that just mentioned motion that Don proposed?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dan. Been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Great. That sounds like that's a great process you guys put together on the that. Okay, next is the 5-year legislative review update, which is for 2023, and we have a year to do this. I mean, it doesn't have to all be done today, but under new business is the 5-year legislative review from 2022 that also needs to be
Under unfinished business.
unfinished.
Yeah, the A through H,
That's,
those are 2022.
excuse me, I got that backwards.
Yeah, you just got it
Okay,
backwards.
I got it backwards. A through H is 2022s that hasn't been done yet, and then the new ones is 2023s. And, you know, just because we have limited time today, we might have to prioritize. So there's no urgency to attack the 2023s today. That maybe we need to start looking at the 2022s, those legislative review updates. And I think some of these some are long and some are short. And I know some of you may not have had time to read them. ahead of time. Or you could, do them now. I mean, it's up to however it's best that you all feel. How to handle the 2022s. So if we could get some of this done, it would be great. Like 65-11-22, there's a lot of verbiage in there, but if there's no concerns or additions or edits, then we go ahead and approve. And again, these are statutes or regulations.
65-11-31 through 65-11-33 are statutes. And just as a reminder, it was 65-11-30 that was amended last year with the APRN bill. So that's why 1130 doesn't show up on here, is that it was done, but the rest of these are statutes for the APRNs.
Okay.
And then the 60-11-102 through 60-11-121 are regulations. Again, for advanced practice or.
I can tell you that the one for nurse anesthetist is still being worked through with the Kansas Association of Nurse Anesthetists. So I do not have anything definitive to that, except that we're hoping to get some substantial changes to remove some of the language that has barriers for us in the state of Kansas.
Josie, this is Carol. Can you kind of update us on the status of that? Because I know it came out of committee, right? It got voted out of committee.
I don't have an update. I have not talked with Alyssa Blau or Brian Fleeman in a while.
Okay.
But I know that they are working on it, and I think they have a structured plan.
Okay, because I know it got voted out of the Senate Health Committee, and I think it's sitting, waiting for the Senate to work it in the chamber, maybe. It hasn't been on the House side yet, so.
Okay, I'll check in with them.
Okay, thank you.
So Carol, how long can that particular one, are you talking about the 60-11-106? That as it
The functions.
The functions of the nurse and that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to hold off on the nurse anesthetist
That's-
one
that's-
until you could look at that in June, because you would know whether the bill got passed by June. And then if it didn't, you could address those. And I presume if it doesn't go through this year, that they will try next year, but at least we will have. That's a suggestion I have.
Oh, that's a good idea, because I was wondering how long we can sit on that one pending potential changes, because the bill is still in
Yeah.
across the street.
Yeah.
That's a thought. June, we'll just do that in June. What about the three or four statute, like 11-31 started at 65-11-31? Again, if you've had time to read through that, is there any kind of edits or corrections that needs to be done about exempt license and active license?
This is Dawn. I want to commend KSBN. I thought that the information that you have put up on the website is very clear. I did have a couple of questions that I reached out for Carol, but as far as leading any advanced practice nurse through what is going to be required, I thought it was very clear, some of those little snippets. So I appreciate that you've been upfront with all of this. I think anybody going into it can see, and everything that I can see in 65-11-31 is exactly what's been clarified on the website. So I am very comfortable with our review and approval of these 11-31, 11-32. Those were definitely already well addressed, and I'm not seeing anything else. Does anybody else see anything on 33, 11-33? Because again, that addresses some of the clarification of the programs, but nothing that
It's glaring, yeah.
Yeah, that I couldn't find any problem with. So those sound good or look good.
Very good, Don, thank you. I thought they looked good too. Good job. You have to vote on those individually.
You can do them all together.
Okay, good, okay, very good, we can do them all together.
So those three.
Yes, those three.
So is there a committee member who would like to make the following motion? I move to approve KSA 651131, 651132, and 651133 as written.
Is there a motion?
Don Gosnell, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Dan or Josie, either one? Dan or Josie, did you want to?
Yeah, sorry, I'm making clicks. I second it.
No problem. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Okay, now it's going to move on to the 6511-102. That's the advanced practice role. That's still applicable.
That 60-11-102, yeah, that did not change with the bill last year. I mean, the roles continue the same.
That looked fine. What about 6011-118?
Well, this is where you get into the functions of the nurse anesthetist. So that one you may want to hold off on,
That one too.
seeing if anything happens with the bill, because
Okay.
that might change in some ways.
My numbers, I didn't read titles, okay. The next one,
The temporary permit has not changed.
and the expiration dates of licenses and applications, that has not changed, has it? Oh, didn't look like it. An exempt license, seems like that's status quo for licenses across the board. Okay, so we did get those looked at. Okay. Can we go ahead, Dawn.
I think we go ahead and approve all except 6011-106, which we will bring back to the committee in June, but that we approve the others, 6011-102, 6011-118, 6011-120, and 6011-121, and approve those.
Good. Did you get that?
Yeah, yes, I did. We're gonna do 102, 118, 120, and
121, that's correct.
Don made that motion.
Yes, is there a second to Don's motion?
This is Josie. I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I heard. And opposed, nay? The motion's carried. Okay, we'll move on to the malpractice insurance coverage interpretation.
Yeah, and this was, Jamie brought this up in our last meeting, concerned because the nurse midwives, evidently with the bill passing, their malpractice insurance has went up in cost a lot through healthcare stabilization and everything like that. And again, we don't do anything with healthcare stabilization. We don't even have, I don't think anything in the Nurse Practice Act that even like mentions it. So I did talk to Clark, the director over at the healthcare stabilization, and he had reinforced with me. And I shared with him that our kind of workaround for this, and just to work around for malpractice insurance period, when we have an applicant who cannot get licensed because they don't have malpractice insurance and they can't get it until they get a license so that they can have a job. It's just kind of this vicious circle. So the workaround that we're using for that is to give them a temp permit. Then they can start working, then they'll have their malpractice insurance, and then they bring their malpractice insurance information back to us, and then they can get licensed. It's kind of it's the way it is, but the language about the malpractice in the bill that passed last year was not the same language that some of the other licensing boards have about malpractice, so our hands are tied just a little bit because of the language. So we're trying to do the best that we can to be able to get them licensed so that they can get malpractice, and the temp permit is the way to do that. And as far as the nurse midwife, Clark's kind of, that's kind of in his hands because that's healthcare stabilization. And so I can't really speak for that.
So are you sharing that process via the concerned applicant on an individual basis, or is that something that's written somewhere that they
We are
can know how to? do it?
actually Ray, our licensing supervisor, who does all the applications, is getting a lot of questions about this. Can't remember whether we're gonna put it in the newsletter. I'm sorry, there's been too much going on, but we certainly can put something out there.
I'm just kind
Yeah.
of wonder, I bet they're either gonna call and want to know how they're supposed to do it.
They're calling about a lot of things, yeah, about that bill, so yeah,
But this might
okay,
be helpful if they know
yeah,
the process so that they don't have to call and find out and they can get working on it.
very
Not-
good point.
Not panic
I will work with Ray to get some
if that's allowed, if that's legally allowed.
communication out.
So is that the process until if or whenever that bill gets edited? Will that be the way it's gonna be then?
Yeah, I mean, because they must show proof of malpractice insurance to get an initial license through us, the way the bill is written, yeah. So there's no work, I mean, temp is the best that we can do,
That's a good option.
yeah, at least we have that.
I'm glad you have that. So if you can share that, I'm sure it'd be helpful for a lot of people that are probably paying to
Okay,
how to do that.
that's a great point, thank you.
Any other questions from Don or Josie or Ben?
Nope, I think you've clarified it. Mhm.
Malpractice, okay. Okay, we'll move on then to new business. And again, nothing is pressing in this list because we do have these are 2023s, but we have to report on the APRN programs approved for licensure.
Yeah, that's on page 19 in your packet, and again, this is not something that you vote on, this is just, I report back, and what this is are applicants who have come from these programs, and we haven't really looked at them and approved them before. So based on that, I look at all of these before they get licensed. And so any that we haven't looked at before, which is what's on this list, I actually bring to you just to let you know that they do meet our qualifications that are in the Nurse Practice Act. So these applicants that came from these schools got licensed based on these educational program. Yes. So it's just kind of FYI.
Yep.
Okay, now moving on to the 5-year legislative review. The first one is 65-11-34, and some of these look kind of doable today to look at. Citation of Kansas Nurse Practice Act sounds like pretty easy. I know. It's gonna stay. 65-11-53, is that temporary authorization to practice? Is that the temp licensure?
Well, this is actually, again, for
Oh,
the
that's
RNAs.
See that.
So you might
That's
want to
something we're
hold
gonna
this
hold on.
one. I don't anticipate that will change based on the bill that's over there, but if you just
Okay.
want to keep the RNA ones,
We'll hold on that one.
yeah.
65-11-54. Another one on nurse anesthetist.
Yeah, you might want to hold
So
that.
that's another one that's gonna hold, and there's no rush today to do that. 65-11-63.
And this also has to do
Because
with
it's talking about
anesthesia a little
anesthesia.
bit, so, yeah,
Hold off on that one just because of the fact that
it's probably not gonna
anesthesia.
change, but
Yeah. And 651164 looks like a standard one that's gonna stay as is. So that is at the end of the
that's,
regs.
that's all the statutes, and then you just have 60-13-112. And that also has to do with the registered nurse anesthetist. It's the license renewal. I doubt that will change any with that bill, but if you just want to, save all of the RNA ones until
Sounds like
June.
a good plan to me. I bet Dawn and Josie and Ben would agree. Let's wait.
Absolutely. Let's give them time to work through whatever they may need to. So I would move, we accept I believe it's 2 of them that have no impact from the CRNA program or the RNA program, and we can accept those 2, and we will hold the others until June.
Great. Thank you, Dawn.
I think that this is Josie. I think that sounds good. I don't think those other ones are going to change because they're not really related to SB 112. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just always
But-
concerned because I never know exactly how the bill's going to end up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I hope that it doesn't get changed any, but things kind of happen.
Okay, Dawn made the motion. Is there a second to that motion that Dawn made?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. Been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
One more? Ayes, Josie Van, we just heard Dawn.
This is Josie.
Bless your heart.
It's all good.
Any opposed, nay? Motion's carried. Well, now we're down to the agenda items, and we do have some of those for June that we've just put on our list.
Yes, and there's another one that I would like to have the Education Committee and this look at. We have been requested to relook at the regulation that we have as far as qualifications to be a preceptor in a graduate program. Right now, it says it has to be an APRN or a physician. And some of the feedback that's being given to us is some of the other like national accreditors and stuff are also allowing like physician assistant and stuff. So the request came to us for the board to relook at that and see if maybe it was time to update that. Maybe not. It's kind of up to them. So I will put that on the agenda.
Are there any other items that you all can think of that need to be brought on the June besides the ones we've talked about today? Okay. Well, hearing none, we did it. Gang, we did it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
In 25 minutes, way to go. And I hope you get very well, Josie. Doggone it.
Yes.
Thank you. I really thought I was going to make it through because I'm vaccinated and all that stuff, and I haven't gotten it until now. So I'm kind of confused.
Well done. Thank you, everybody, and have a good rest of the afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.